What's going on, guys? The Barber Phil here, back again with another haircut tutorial. And in today's cut, we've got a mid bald fade on some darker hair, but you'll notice once we get into it and I get to turn it in different angles and we get to fade on the side, the hair density is a little different, which presented a little bit of trouble. So let's get right into it. I'm hoping you guys picked up from the thumbnail. I had the Turtle Beach headset in there. His mom came in and said, we got to cut it down. He gets too hot with it being longer, and he plays video games quite a bit, I guess. And so he's always got that that distinctive flat spot right in the middle of his head where his hair is matted down by his headset. You can still see it right now. So what I'm basically doing, I have the magic clip on here. I'm starting with the 7 guard all the way closed, going every different direction, trying to knock this top down as even as we can. And you guys will notice I'll switch here in a second. We'll even go with a shorter guard. I believe I dropped down to a 6 guard, and we're just going to continue to go down as best we can to where we start seeing that middle spot even out a little bit. That's what we're going to do now. We're switching over to that 6 guard. Once again, just go over it every single direction you possibly can. You want to make sure, especially when you're using a guard on top, that you don't leave any spot unattended. You go over it every direction. You go over it with the grain, against the grain, across the grain, at an angle, every different direction. It doesn't matter, over and over again till you get it down nice and even. So now that we've got the top evened out, we're going to take a closed 3 guard with the metal magic clip, and I'm going to go straight up and off like we always do. And for the most part, this 3 guard, by using the shape of my client's head, is blending into that 6 guard on top fairly well. So it's not completely going to eliminate any work later on, but it does go ahead and give us something nice to look at and work on. So now we're going to take the 2 guard open. We're going to fade up into and flick into that closed 3 guard we just finished with. We'll close this 2 guard halfway up. Same as always, go about halfway to 3/4 of the way through that fully open section. Close it up all the way, drop down some, close, go about halfway to 3/4 of the way through that 2 half open. Now we've got the 1 1/2, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go all the way open up into what we left off at with that 2 guard. Same steps, keep working down. Use the 1 guard wide open up into that 1 1/2 we just left off with. Close it up halfway, then close it up all the way. Once you get down to this closed 1, that's when you can do your open section, and you'll be able to go from your open section, flick out that top line between the open, where the open section is left off, and then this 1 guard close that you just finished with, and you'll have a nice smooth transition. Most of the time you can just achieve that by using the 1 1/2. So we've got the 1 guard closed. Now we're going to come in here, we're going to make about a 1 inch, maybe even more of an open section here. Obviously we're not going to use all of this, but we are going to end up balding them out underneath anyways. Create a nice open section there, close the lever up halfway, go about halfway to 3/4 of the way up through that open section that you just did. Close that lever up all the way, go down a little bit, and go about halfway to 3/4 of the way through that half open section. Now to connect that open to that closed 1 guard we finished with, use the Wahl Premium 1 1/2 guard, and there you go. That's a nice, it's a rough draft. We'll come in, we'll detail some work more later on, but that at least gives you a nice transition from a closed clipper up through that 3 guard that connects into the 6 on top. A lot of this now is just going to be detail work. You got the lever wide open, you're just using the corner of your blade, trying to hit little dark spots here and there. You don't really want to push this section up at all. Right here, there was a little darker spot that was higher up into the fade than what I wanted that open no guard to mess with, so I threw the half guard on there. We're just still using the corners. That's all we're doing right here. This is all detail work, just trying to refine this blend and make sure that we like where we're at. Now I've got the Slimline Pro Li. This is right below, and we're flicking up into that closed section with the no guard that we ended with a while ago. And then now I know personally that with my clippers, I can come in below this, use the FX to finish balding out the bottom, and we're done with that side. Use the FXs to go ahead and do a C-cup here. It's a very small front vertical bar. We don't really line them up anyways, so having a really crispy lineup wasn't what we knew the end goal would be here, so I wasn't too worried about that. Just get a nice rough draft on it, get it cleaned up, go ahead and ball them out, and then we can move on to the back. So mainly in that area that I just started at right here, but just back behind that light spot, so right here, as you can tell, it's a little bit darker there, and that's where I was saying the hair density and the color was throwing me off just a little bit. So we actually pulled out the Cordless Senior modified with the Andy's Master Blade, and I was using a 2 guard and a 1 guard, both opening the lever and closing it just to kind of make sure that we get those spots cut to color so that fade looks correct. Now I went ahead, I guess I like the way that the Senior was cutting this particular hairstyle better, and the purple guards versus the Wahl premium guards. So I continue to use it, and you'll be able to tell here in a minute when I turn him to the side. He has a very predominant occipital bone right in the back, and then it goes really flat at an angle up to the crown area. So that presented a little bit of a trouble spot as well, because most of this fade area was through that occipital bone and then that flat area. So it also created a fairly large shelf in the crown area, and because we did a 6 on top, I actually later on go on and take the crown area down a little bit just to remove that shelf. But we continue, basically we're doing the same steps, it's just a different guard system. So we did the 3 guard open just to go up and off the head, the 2 guard, now we're into the 1 guard. Now this is the Andy 0 guard. Start with it open, and you can slowly work your way down, closing the lever more and more as you go. And as you can tell too, like I said, that hair density right here, it's just giving off it's casting shadows in different ways. So, you know, you just keep working with it, keep using your mirror. The mirror will tell you everything you need to know. Keep checking in the mirror, and when you see a spot that you think needs to be hit, turn your head back, look at the client. If you need to, step back yourself and look at it, and don't just assume because you made a pass through there with a guard that you used on, you know, the other side of his head. That doesn't mean it's going to look exactly the same on the opposite side. So always use your mirror, always use your judgment, step back if you need to, and then get back in there, fade the color, and get that fade right. So there we did a closed section with the no guard. Now we're going to go open, and then we'll close it up halfway, buff that line out in between with the half open no guard, and then we will move on to that other side. And here in a second you'll see that the occipital bone and that ridge that I was talking about. So that's what I was talking about right there, guys. The occipital bone sticks out quite a bit, and then it gets really flat going up to the crown area. So basically that was leaving quite a bit of a shelf right there in the area that I'm working at, just above my thumb right there. And so we had to take, I believe it was a 4 guard. We did it open at first, I went down with it, and we're using a 3 guard kind of up through it, and we're still trying to go up and off. I don't want to leave like too big of a slope. I don't want to cut his crown down too far. So you start with the longer guard, you go with the growth of the hair. Just try different things before you go straight into just chopping it all the way off. And then, as I've been saying, even from this angle, it looks like that's really short all the way up through there, but if I turn him, it looks darker up, you know, up higher in the area that I'm working at now. So it's definitely presented a little bit of a challenge. I haven't done a cut like on this particular hair density in a little while, so you know, we're just working through it, making sure that, you know, we keep with our steps, do what we know, and trust in it. And you know, you should always get an end result if you trust in yourself and stick to what you know. As always, guys, take a second when this video is over. I'm hoping you guys have stuck around this long. Check the link in the description of this video or any of my other videos for the Tomb 45 Online Academy. If you guys are into learning from YouTube tutorial videos and stuff like that, if that's a means of you learning, like if that's the way you like to learn haircuts or you do learn from it, guys, I highly suggest you go check out that academy. You get access, like direct access to Sean Cuts Hair, Get Beam, Dre Cut It Out, S-Craft Wins, and Sean Cuts Hair. They do, basically, this haircut itself took 30 to 45 minutes, and I broke it down into a 13-minute video. They will do the full video tutorial. You can go on there, join in, ask them questions while they're doing the tutorial. They can pause the video, answer your question right there on the spot, stop the video, talk more in depth. So it's well worth it. Go check out that academy. It's the Tomb 45 Online Academy, and I've got a link that you can sign up in the description of this video or any of my other videos. Also, guys, I don't know if you've noticed, and I haven't talked about it too much on my channel lately. You'll notice all of my clippers have the Tomb 45 power clips on the end. They are game changers, guys. If you haven't seen the new innovation that Tomb 45 is coming out with, the power mat basically allows you to cut the cords from your cordless clippers or get rid of your corded clippers altogether. You put your clip on the end of your clipper just as it is. It doesn't affect your clipper in any way or the way you use it. Put it down on that mat. It wirelessly charges. You pick your clipper up. It's charged. It's the perfect combination, guys, especially with the way all these clippers nowadays are going to cordless. You know, it's cordless clipper, but then you have a cord to charge it. Not anymore, guys. Check out that power mat and the adapters that go with them. Lethal combination. That about does it for this haircut tutorial, guys. Take a second, hit me up in those comment sections. Let me know what you thought about it. If you would have done anything different back in that crown area, or if you've got trouble with hair density haircuts like this, or cast off different shadows, let me know in that comment section. Consider subscribing if you're new, guys. Enable that notification bell, that way you never miss another haircut from me. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't, and until the next video, guys, y'all know I appreciate it.